Do you foresee in Africa in the future potential trouble spots where the U.S. might be considering intervention there? And if so, what would be your evaluation of the wisdom of going into Africa, much like we did in Southeast Asia?
Yes, I don't see any areas where we would have to take direct intervention. I think the greatest way that we can help the people of Africa today is to send them the technicians that they need, to send them members of the Peace Corps. I think the members of the Peace Corps are doing an excellent job in Africa. They're appreciated. We don't have to waste millions of dollars in foreign aid in these countries as we have done in the past. We just need to give them the technicians to help themselves.
What can be done to further the possibility of peace between the Israelis and the Arabs? Now, you've been in both countries and you know the people.
Of course, the great need in Israel, the great need in the Arab countries, the great need in the Middle East is just a better understanding between these peoples that they have much to offer each other. The Israelis can be of great help to the Arabs can be of help to the Israelis.
Politics Texas style. That was the order of business today near Louisville as Democratic gubernatorial candidate Eugene Locke made the latest stop on his campaign trail. Amidst an atmosphere of barbecue, beer, and of course ballyhoo, Mr. Locke greeted supporters, well-wishers, and friends. The some 200 people gathered in a pasture on the Oran stock farm made short work of dispensing with the tasty beef and cold brew. Locke has said that he supports a local option mixed drink law. I asked him if he favors the serving of beer on Texas college campuses.
Well, I've taken a very strong position that the law against sale of alcoholic beverages to minors should be strictly enforced. And when I have stated that I would favor legislation which would permit people in any locality to determine for themselves whether or not mixed drinks should be sold in legitimate hotels, motels, and restaurants in that locality.
Of course, everyone wants to know about the future, and Dr. Burchard, being an expert on cities, finds himself sometimes in the predicting business. I ask him how Dallas-Fort Worth stacks up against other American cities.
Well, I think probably the city that's done the most when you come right down to it is Philadelphia. A combination of two really vital mayors and Ed Bacon, a great planner. And I think Boston under Mayor Collins and Logue is another one. I think you've got first that kind of leadership here in your present political structure. You've got an affluent city. You've got a city that isn't afraid to spend its money. That's terribly important. There are other affluent cities that don't like to spend their money. And this is all great advantage because you can't do this thing free. And then I think you've got the other thing that you're not yet so committed, although you're getting more so all the time, to what is downtown and what is this and what is that, that you can't move. You've got elbow room, and now the problem is, and it's going to, the next 10 or 15 years, I think it's going to settle this for Dallas, what you're going to be. And after that, it's going to get harder because the interstitial building finally creates a thing that you can't demolish.
Is there going to be a move now from the suburbs toward the city?
Lots of people who hope so. Lots of people who hope the city would be enough of a magnet to do this. I think the trouble is that the suburbs do give people some things they can't buy downtown. They haven't got the money to buy down, which is enough space, a big enough room, enough outlook. And so it's very hard to create this. And I'm afraid that the return to the city, if it exists, is likely to be from the old, well-to-do, and then young ones who accept the handicaps, like my son does in New York, kind of a modest place, but he's in the middle of New York. He's on time. That's why he likes it there. But you see, what we're getting into is something else, which is a central core of poor people, all poor. Now that's really frightening. It's not so frightening here as it is someplace.